Okay, we're holding 212. Just began the Mechaber. And we're holding base, excuse me. 213. Koton she'eino tzorech le'imo. A child, a minor who no longer needs his mother. How old is that? Shu ben chomish ben sheish. He's 5-6 years old. Chayv b'suk b'divrei sofrim k'dei lechancho b'mitzvos. Rabbinically, he's obligated to be in the sukkah to train him in mitzvos. Base. So Tosa says this all over. He brings from the Taz. Is it 5 or is it 6? It depends on the development of the child. Based on his development. That if his mother isn't, if his father's in the community, so he doesn't need his mother. His father will take care of him. Take care of him, bring him to sukkah even earlier. The mother has no obligation. So if the child to fend for himself in the sukkah, he's too young. It's only 5 or 6. But if his father there, even less. It's interesting. Meaning, it doesn't mean less than 5. It means, normally, if a child's not developed, it's 6. But if his father, even 5, is already old enough to be mechanech him, to train him. What about if he's an orphan? He has no father. Which is not simple. There's a whole question whether mother is obligated in chinuch, which is rabbinical. This interesting. If a child could be in the sukkah, he's supposed to be in the sukkah. You're not permitted to feed the child. It's like feeding a miser, because the child is not permitted to eat outside the sukkah. Either to actually feed him, or to provide the food, or somebody should create a provider to feed the child. No. Chayiv, it doesn't mean chinuch is always on somebody else. It's always. But let's say if a child is 10 years old. Yes, why you say a bracha? I'm supposed to say a bracha. What are you supposed to? Rabbinically, right? So rabbinically, we talk about it even rabbinically. So there's no question. Even chinuch, of course, it's on the father, but Chazal, they could impose a chiv even on a child. The child's not sufficiently intelligible; they can't impose anything on him. But they could obligate the father to start training the child. But let's say the child already is 10, 11, 12 years old, right? They could rein in on that child rabbinically. There's a whole question whether yes, whether no.
This point about the sukkah, is it synonymous with the lulav? Or lulav because he needs certain skills like a shofet and cooking?
What?
This concept of him being in the sukkah, is it synonymous with him shaking the lulav?
Lulav is different. He has to have the mechanical skills. Yeah. Okay. Further. Cholim shamsheim pturim in a sukkah. Person is not well, and therefore he can't be in the sukkah. What about the attendance of the person who's not well? He's an attendant. Person's a nurse, personal nurse, an aide for a person who's not well. So if he goes to sukkah, nobody's going to be able to attend to the needs of the person who's not well. The pturim. We're not talking about a person who's deathly ill. And he needs that person has a migraine headache, and he's not able to be in the sukkah. That would be cause of mitzvah, right? It's not, can't accommodate him in that state. Well, let's say he has to chosh be'enov, yesh. Meaning, if he has to be on call, okay. What about he doesn't have to be on call? Let's say he has to be there every 3 hours to administer medication. So what about the 3-hour period when he doesn't have to be there? I mean, logically, the second opinion. Yeah. Okay, we'll see. Right. Person's a bloodletter. right? Right? Okay. Let's see. Cholim mishum dechsiv teishu kein taduru. V'mhoy zeh choli koloshon. A person that have this ailment, he have a cold, or doesn't feel well. Lo yoshib beso davko. Elo yeholech l'mokom shenokel lo cholyo. Whatever will make it more comfortable, his situation, to alleviate his issue, he'd go to that location. So if the house is a better location in terms of, in his house, if he'd have a room which is more accommodating, he'd go in that room to accommodate the illness. Similar here, so if the house is more accommodating than the sukkah, you leave the sukkah and go to your house. Shamshem Pturim, Fi Shem Oskim B'mitzvah, Chol Oskim B'mitzvah Potem Min HaMitzvah. Afilu Chosh, Kitzav L'shonim Mar'iso, Afilu Chola She'en Bo Sakor, Afilu Chosh B'Rosho. B'Rosho Be'ino, if we speak, he has a headache, or he has an eye issue. Rotzlomi V'shiva Sokol Koshelo. Sometimes what is one thing after another. B'Shosh HaChoder, V'im Yesh Shnei Mishamshim, Vein Tzorach Shnei Vasachas. Right? He has two people to attend to his needs, and they switch off. He doesn't need both of them. Tzorach Lechol Echod Basuka, Be'eshivusha Shel Hasheni. What's the reason? Poshut. I mean, it's a Mishna Berura. People are digging a grave. Right? Comes to Zman Kriyishma, says one goes out, one continues to dig, says Kriyishma, and the other one goes back in, and the other one says the Kriyishma. So they're able to switch the same thing here. If the whole idea is Osam Mitzvah, Potter Mitzvah, so if one could engage in a mitzvah, there's no reason you should be absolved. Tzorach lem v'muchola sheish basakora near the Ishlohokel, gam b'shor shein tzorach lo, because that's the Mishnah in that's the Gemara Shabbos. Of course, there's a psychological issue, right? Even for a blind person, you're able to light a light. Of course, psychologically, if there's nobody available, he worries. So if two people, the level of the mental sense of being secure could actually affect his life. Just people go for, person's a masseuse, he gives massages. Okay, the person's not sick. He doesn't tend to people's sickness. What about if the reason why he's letting blood is because people are not well, they have high blood pressure? It's a question of sakana. Potter. A person drinks something which to loosen his bowel. If he feels that being in the sukkah, the cold would affect him because he took this medication, then he can be in the house. Yep. It's interesting. He doesn't explain what's the machlokas. It's machlokas. Is it only when he needs you, or even when he doesn't need you? What is it the Yeshomrim? Doesn't explain what the basis for the argument is. And we're talking about chol she'ein bo sakana. The whole issue he says is osem mitzvah potem min mitzvah, attending to the person's needs. So right now he has no need. What? No, there's no mitzvah presently. So what? No, the Yeshomrim is seemingly more logical, right? What's the mitzvah now? He has no need. No, we're not talking about because he may need you before. If he made you, of course, you have to be on call. So that's still also mitzvah. Yes. It's no worse than if it's not a chol sheish bo sakana. I'm not sure. Mitzvah poter bin asuka. A person is in a state of discomfort. He's poter. Hu v'lo mishamshav. He, but not his, because of it has nothing to do also mitzvah poter min mitzvah. A person who attends to the needs of a person is not well. That's also mitzvah poter min mitzvah. But a person mitzvah, let's say he has attendance. So you go in the house, attendance. But I don't have my attendance. So okay, so it's your problem. Right? How does that absolve them of their chiyuv? They have a chiyuv to be in the sukkah. Hu v'lo mishamshav. Abalayli v'shon afim mitzvah chayev lechol sham kezayis. But the first night, again, it's no different than it's raining. The first kazai should have an obligation to be in the sukkah. Ezil mitzdayer, zeshin yochel lishim basukim neharuach, neazvuvim parushim chiyutzibim. The sukkah is too windy. There are insects, there are mosquitoes, other kinds of bugs. Nehareach, there's a certain stench which disturbs him. V'davko shebolo atzar b'mikra ach she'osa shem sukkah. I mean, he built a sukkah. It's not he built a sukkah right next to a sanitation location, where they have a trash heap. We're not talking about that. He built that. Something happens later which actually causes him to be mitzdayer. Aval ein lo lasos sukkos l'chatchil bokom hareach or ruach v'lomar mitzdarni. He builds a sukkah in a location where he's not going to be able to fulfill the mitzvah. I mean, so it's not a valid sukkah. One second. Yeah, go ahead.
We did that.
We did what?
There was a real possibility that things wouldn't hold up, or
No, physically, that's something else. Where it'll collapse. That was rabbinically. That's by the schach. That's rabbinical. He was talking about a Torah level. Torah level. You build a sukkah. We'll see. The Ramos says you build a sukkah that you can't eat there. It's not a valid sukkah. A sukkah means it has to be a residence at some level. It's not a residence. What good residence is this? I mean, it's interesting. I mean, so a person, let's say, in Russia, and there's no way to heat the sukkah. There's no way. And factually, you'll be mitzvah. There's no chiv to build a sukkah. Right? What's the point? See, so maybe for the first kazayis, right? But maybe the pshat's like this. You have to eat the first kazayis in a sukkah. A sukkah is a residence that you can reside in. What about, you can't reside in the sukkah. So maybe even for the first kazayis, that's not called a sukkah. We'll see the Rama in a minute. Because he says something interesting. A sukkah has to be fully accommodating. Let's say you have a sukkah, you can eat and drink there, but because of the safety issues, you can't sleep in the sukkah. Of course, the thief, the ganovim, and a person can be victimized if he stays in the sukkah. Is it a valid sukkah? Or does it have to be fully accommodating for every level of need of the person? So we'll see. There's an opinion that says that if you can't sleep there, maybe it's not a valid sukkah, because you're concerned for ganovim. Or bandits coming in. Years ago, today, I don't know, but years ago, on the Lower East Side, you couldn't sleep in the sukkah. There was a question of safety. It was a safety issue. When there were many people there, you could eat there. But a person to be all himself in the sukkah overnight, especially in certain areas, was Saragossa nefashos. A person put his life in danger to be there. Okay, let's see the Mishna Berura.
So would you be yotzim that day?
No, we'll see the Ramot. It's not simple. I mean, la'alocha, we rule, you can. I mean, let's see. It's a person going to eat in there, it's too cold to sleep. And we had before, one of the reasons why people don't sleep in the sukkah is because it's too cold. But you have to eat in that sukkah, correct? But if you're not able to sleep because it's too cold, because it's mitzvah, so how does it qualify to eat and drink? There, it's not a sukkah. It has to be fully... No, but there's an opinion that has to be fully accommodating. It has to accommodate every one of your needs to be considered a sukkah. So if it cannot accommodate your sleeping needs, so if that's not a sukkah, so that even eating and drinking there has no value. It's not a sukkah. Sukkah means something was fully functional as a residence. Residence means a location you could sleep there. If you can't sleep there, it's not a residence. I know. I'm just saying the Ramos cites such an opinion. We don't. That's what I'm saying. We don't. Mitzayir potur, the chein todu rabinan. It has to be a location that you're able to dwell in, similar to your own home. V'af b'chol shana in odom dor b'mokum shu mitzayir. Where do you reside? Not in a location where you're in a state of discomfort. I'm just asking a theoretical situation. Let's say during the war, right? Or people, they're regular residents, they resorted to something which was normally they wouldn't want, but that was their predicament. So that was their yearly residence. Let's say they were in the bunker, right? Let's say they were in a bunker, and they're able to, in the bunker, to make it, to remove their earth on top, and to put leaves and branches that nobody could see. Right? It's damp, it's cold, it's everything. Do you have a chiyuv to do that? Did they have an obligation to do that? They've already, this is their daily residence. Would that be considered mitzvah? Would the discomfort be considered an absolvement of the obligation? What would you say?
No, because that's how they would take law.
The discomfort was there anyway. But it's saying it made more discomfort.
No, the whole idea is came to do it. No, it's not going to cause more. Even in the bunker is discomfort.
Right.
It's cold and damp and everything. That's just the reality of the way they have no choice but to. That's their residence.
It's a relative question. If you go to Africa and people are accustomed to living in makeshift shanty homes and can endure cold weather, and this is their standard. But that person, if you take an American and put them in that situation,
No, that I understand.
So now this person's quite comfortable in that one. And this
Certain
one's
people,
not.
even in people used to a cold climate, they're not shivering. They're not shivering. We're not talking about it's sub-zero temperature, right? Even if it's cold elsewhere, it's not considered cold. Right? I remember I once went to Buenos Aires in July, and it was like 45 degrees. They were wearing serious winter clothing over there. 40 degrees, for the United States, it's nothing. And it's what you're used to. I'm talking about where this is really a normal circumstance, mitzvah. In a normal setting, this would be a state of discomfort. But because of it's a state of war, this is already, this is considered good.
We also don't have any other option. I mean, meaning if
We're talking about sukkah.
right, so this is where they have to live, and if they can make into a sukkah, might as well make into a sukkah. Because
Do you have a chiyuv? Why? Do you have an obligation?
make a bracha.
Would you say a bracha? Bracha, I'm not sure of.
Because they don't have, where else are they going to go? I'm saying it's the only place they live. So might as well, it should be a sukkah.
No, but do they have to make the effort to turn it into a sukkah? That's the question.
The whole reason it's there is because you can go out and go someplace where not.
No, it's because that has to be king to do.
Right, but it's saying.
Let's say a person's a homeless person. He's a homeless person. And the sukkah itself is a mitzvah sukkah. Right? Well, you say, oh yeah, you live on the street. I don't think he has an obligation to go in the sukkah. If he's mitzvah, if the sukkah truly is mitzvah. He freezes all year, he has no choice but to freeze. He's living on the street. So he has a chiv to go in the sukkah. If he'd have a residence, this is not a normal residence.
But if it doesn't go to the school, where is it going to go? Going to go to the same place?
Let me see, I'm explaining it. The Torah says a residence has to be, the sukkah has to be similar to a residence. A residence.
Not your residence.
It doesn't mean your. If you would have a residence, would you leave the residence? Person would leave a residence if it was this. Factually, he's homeless. He has no residence. He has no obligation to be in that sukkah. So the same thing. It's the predicament which causes him to be here. I mean, if he'd have a choice, he has no choice but to live on the streets. He has no choice but to be in the bunker, where it's damp and cold and everything. For the sake of protecting his life, he'll do anything. So a person's in the bunker, right? Could be he wouldn't. If a person gets used to it over time, he's able to tolerate anything. Okay, so that's not mitzvah any longer. Things have changed. You read about during the war, there were Jews who fled from Lithuania and Poland. They went to the republics in Russia. Some of them, the level of heat was unbelievable, and lack of water. But after being there for a few years during the war, they got used to everything over there. So I'm saying, once you get used to something, then you're right. It's not mitzvah any longer. Things, they're not necessities any longer. Okay, to be continued.
Human beings can get used to almost anything, given enough
No, you
time
could
to-
get used to anything, but you still be in a state of pain.
Well, over
You'll
time,
be
it's-
tolerate. You'll tolerate it.
But over time, that diminishes. It's a question of time.
There's a limit to how much you could, even though you'll endure it, but you won't be used to it. It's not.
It's a new reality. Given enough
remember many years ago when I first came to New York, there was a Jew down in the shul. He was in the concentration camp. And he told me that in concentration they wore clothing which was no thicker than a pajama. And they would work in snow, and they had wooden clogs up to their waists. And sometimes the temperature would reach 40 below zero. 40 below zero in the winter in the concentration camp. And they'd be working out in the forest. And he says, today he doesn't realize how they were able to survive it. That was his comment. This person was a grandson of Nodi Buda. His name was Landau. Then he already was a man when he said this. This goes back 29 years ago. He was in his 80s already. This person then.